Hey guys, it's Mark, back for my last video reflection for the summer. Yeah, can you believe it? Last video reflection because the very last reflection obviously will be the written one. So yeah, this is the last video reflection of the summer. So this week we got to look at a draft of the CA programming guide, and actually I have it here for you. So just go through it really briefly. So these are the CA advisor, community advisor programming requirements. And actually these are kind of already set in place already. They were just kind of switched around to fit in with the new pillars because each of the 5 pillars has been given a color, and so they're kind of color coordinate with that. So like for instance, connectedness is yellow, cultural and global awareness is purple, integrated learning is blue, civic engagement is green, and leadership development is red. So those are the 5 pillars of residence life, and they're all going to be color coordinated because when the CAs in the different buildings do programs, like each building will have a pillar for the month or for a few weeks or so, and so everything coordinated with that particular pillar will be its designated color. So it's a nice color coordinated system. It works. Just programming requirements as far as what the CAs are required to do. Again, these things were already kind of set up in place, just putting it in the new format. And so here's some actual stuff that we put together this summer. Here's part of what I put together is the theory behind why residence life programming is so important. And so this is just like a brief one-page handout that just highlights a few studies done by Tinto and Upcraft, people like that, those kind of celebrities in the CSA world, that just show why residence life programming is so important, and that it shows that residents who feel more connected to their campus are more likely to succeed, they're more likely to do well, just to give the CAs kind of the method to the madness. That's what I kind of call it here, or I did call it the method to the madness, so that way they'll know that they're not just doing programming just for the heck of it, but that this has been, studied, and this has been researched, and this shows that, students who participate in these kind of residential programs are more likely to succeed as far as staying in school and feeling more connected and having higher GPAs and that kind of stuff. And here's just a brief handout, just outlining how we can make our programs better. Kind of me taking what research has said and kind of putting it into a kind of a general step-by-step process. You assess, find out what residents are looking for in their programs, create or revamp programs based on your residents' needs, plan and map your programs to the pillars, follow through, making sure that whatever you decide to do as a CA, that you're making sure that you're following through with residents, so that way they'll be more likely to show up to programs, tell other people about programs, and then follow up, making sure that you go back and assess. Again, it's kind of like number 5 is going back to number 1. After you do all that, then assess what you've done to see where you need to change, improve, what you did well, that kind of thing. And next is inviting guest speakers. So this is a handout that I put together with some help from the CAs and our assistant director and director and our other intern as well. So it's just like if you want to invite a guest for the first time, someone who hasn't collaborated with Residence Life before. So kind of the first step is to assess your necessity for your program. If your program really doesn't need a guest speaker, then it might, you don't have to have a guest speaker. So really just sit down and think, would a guest speaker really add to the dynamic of the program? Because you don't want your guest speaker to show up and then feel like their time hasn't been used properly. So just making sure that you really know why and how you're going to use your guest speaker. And then ask yourself, what kind of information do you want the guest speaker to present? How long do you want them to speak? Do you need them to bring any materials? And in what office or department might I find this person? And then you make the contact. And here's just like a sample like letter or like a sample kind of script outline for a conversation. It's just saying that, that you're a community advisor in such and such building, you're doing a program about X, and that you'd like this guest speaker to come in and talk about ABC, right? And so it's just in case someone hasn't had this kind of experience where they've invited someone to come and speak for an event. It just is a very skeletal script. I make a note in there to try not to read this word for word, or try not to memorize it, because you don't want to sound rehearsed, you don't want to sound robotic, you want it to sound very natural. But it just really outlines all the key points you want to hit when you're trying to invite someone, like where, when, what, all those questions. And then next is confirm with your guest after you've spoken with them and you decided, okay, they're going to come and speak and what they're going to do, yada, yada, yada. I'm just sending a confirmation to say, hey, just to make sure you're coming in to speak on this day about such and such topic and that kind of thing. Then the next step, step 5, is advertise for your guests. Make sure that your residents know that a guest speaker is coming in so they won't be surprised. And then step 6, punctuality, making sure that your program starts on time because you want to honor the time of your guest. Step 7, showing your gratitude in the moment, like right after they speak, just thank them for the time and all that kind of thing. Then step 8 is future contact, asking them if they want to be put on our contact list, which is on the back of this, to be contacted for future collaboration. And then step 9 is to send just a little thank you letter. And here's the contact sheet that the CAs can add contacts to as they go along. And then here's the planning and implementation part. And this part still needs to be added to because they, at the staff meeting, discussed some things to revamp, redo. But here's the marketing piece that's pretty much done. And one of the summer CAs put this together. It's called 20 Easy Ways to Market Your Event. And they really did a great job in outlining like a lot of things you can do to market your event. For instance, there's making a Facebook event, a YouTube video, weekly newsletter, sidewalk chalk, window paint. And it really does give them, as you can see, it's very, very detailed step-by-step process as far as how to advertise using this particular medium, kind of what the benefits are, even sometimes like what time of year would be best, because things like sidewalk chalk or window paint may not work if it's going to be really rainy or like in the snow when it's snowing, like inches and inches on the sidewalk. That may not be the best method to use sidewalk chalk. But things like using the marquee at the entrance of campus. There's something called the Planet. That's an e-newsletter that goes out to all the students on campus. So using that. There's GTV, which they have in their the university center, which is kind of like the student union. So very, very easy and accessible ways to market your program, and laid out in a very detailed step-by-step process, again put together by the summer CAs Josh and Aaron. It's mainly Josh, but of course he consulted Aaron because they work really good together. And then here is a sample proposal form. That's the next part of the programming guide. It's just what a sample proposal form looks like, all the kind of information you're supposed to have. Again, very straightforward thing. And then the assessment part is still needs to be some work done on the assessment part as far as what exactly it's going to look like. The other intern, Tara, she put together some little assessment forms, and they're going to be added as soon as she puts some finishing touches on those, and we decide, okay, this is the final format. So as you can see, a lot of things I put together, and they're really great, and there's still some time before training starts to get everything finalized, but it's been really good. It's been a really good experience putting this together. And the social justice stuff I'll have for you probably when I get back to Penn State, because I'm just going to clean some of that stuff up and then print it out and put it in a nice little binded format. So yeah, this has been a pretty interesting experience. I'm really proud of all the things that we got done, and yeah, see you guys in a couple weeks.